Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. So glad that you're with us today. Today we're going to build on that fourth sign of emotional maturity that I shared with you yesterday, which was observing what is going on in the relationship and the part that you play. I want to take it, of course, one logical step further, which is what I call the fifth indicator. And the fifth sign of emotional maturity is taking responsibility for the part that you play in the relationship, taking responsibility for the part that you play in the relationship. Stick around as we unbox your leadership by unboxing relationships. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. All right. Again, welcome to Unboxed. I'm so glad to have you with us today. Before we get started on this journey, do me a quick favor. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. That's right, like, subscribe, and share. And hit the notification button if you're following us on YouTube so that you can get updates when we go live. And if you're listening to this via podcast, please check out our website. You can get all kinds of helpful information, find out what we're doing in the community, and as well as connect with Unboxed and find out how we can provide services for your organization. That website is www.swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org. All right, let's jump right into this. The fifth sign of emotional maturity is taking responsibility for the part you play in the relationship. Let's unbox what that means. Last time we were together, we discussed the importance of leaders thinking systems. Instead of thinking about pathology, thinking systems. And you do that by observing the relationship system and the role that you play in it. Matter of fact, I want to read something to you that I read the last time. When any key member of the relationship system can accurately observe what is going on in the system, as well as the part they play in it, when they can control their own emotional reactions, when they can avoid counterattacking when they're provoked, and when they can maintain an active relationship with the other key members of the system, the entire system will change in a series of predictable steps. When you can see what you are doing, and then when you can also understand the role that you play. When you can get all of that together and take responsibility for it, you can change the entire system in a series of predictable steps. This is really the only thing that we can control. And that is how well we take responsibility for the part we play. We can't make other people take responsibility for their part or understand their part or even change their part, but we can take responsibility for the part that we play. If I have to let someone go, think about this as a leader. If I have to let someone go, how well am I functioning in that process? If I find myself drawn to one team member and the others are starting to become resentful, how well am I functioning in that process? If rumors or conflicts are brewing between team members, how well am I functioning in that process? If I am annoyed by a lack of productivity, how well am I functioning in that process? That's the big question. How well am I functioning? The focus then becomes on me because that's the one variable that I can control. That is the one variable that I can change. And so as a leader, I think about how I'm showing up, about how I'm functioning. I want to read something to you from Edwin Friedman, and I think this is quite profound. He says, the emotional maturity and functioning of the leader is more important is a more important goal than specific administrative solutions or improved managerial techniques, no matter what the type of organization. Let me just pause. I'm gonna read the rest of it in a second. Let me just pause there. The emotional maturity and functioning of the leader. And too often, this is one of the things that I've shared with you about leadership trainings and leadership books. They really talk a lot about techniques of managing people, managing your team. And the true thing is that when your focus is on managing others, then what you really have a tendency, and this is just a human tendency, and that is to slip into manipulation. But when your focus is on how well you are showing up, how well you are presenting, how well you are functioning within the organization and within the relationships that make up the organization, man, that puts you in such a powerful position. Let me read that one more time. The emotional maturity and functioning of the leader is a more important goal than specific administrative solutions or improved managerial techniques, no matter what the type of organization. This is important for two reasons. A leader who focuses, reason number one, a leader who focuses on his or her own functioning diminishes the importance of becoming an expert in managing people and managing their specific symptoms. The second reason it's so important is because the principle of paying close attention to your own functioning transcends culture or organizations. And I want to just take a second and kind of chew on both of those. A leader who focuses on his or her own functioning diminishes the importance of becoming an expert in managing people and their specific symptoms. Because if I can be an emotionally mature person and be responsible for how I show up and take responsibility for that, then I don't have to be an expert on how I manage other people, because that's no longer my focus. That's no longer my goal. That's no longer my end objective. My big objective is making sure that I am doing my part, making sure that I am being responsible to the organization, to the people in the organization, and for my role in the organization, for how I show up, for how I interact, for how I treat people. I am responsible for that. And so now I don't have to learn a whole bunch of different techniques and all these different things. And I'm not talking about administrative skills. There are shortcuts when it comes to developing budgets and strategic plans. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm dealing with relationships. But too often we put so much time in those administrative things that we when it comes to the relationship, we just fall back on techniques that end up becoming manipulation. The second reason, again, is the principle of paying close attention to your own functioning transcends culture or organization. And that's one of the things. And I wish that I had really understood this, in my congregational leadership, because one of the things that, you're taught is that you need to go in there and you really need to get to know the church and understand the people. And on the surface, that sounds wonderful. And there is a very important component about getting to know the church, getting to know the people, understanding the culture, etc., of the church. But guess what? A greater focus needs to be placed on who the leader is in the pastoral context, who the leader is in the nonprofit context, who the leader is in the for-profit corporate context, who you are. Because that then, and being responsible and focusing and paying attention to how you show up and being responsible for that, that transcends culture, that transcends race, that transcends nationality, that transcends organizations. So whether you are the CEO of a hospital or whether you are the line manager at a Burger King, it would make a difference, because you're now showing up as the best you. You're the honest, you're whatever that best you is. You are taking your responsibility when stress, anxiety, and tension rises about how you manage yourself, how you can remain and maintain one-to-one contact with the significant people, how you avoid getting sucked into triangles, how you avoid distancing and withdrawing when tension and stuff. That those principles are going to transcend the organization and is going to ultimately make you the best leader wherever you may find yourself. As I've shared before, it is easier to diagnose, to label, and to blame others for problems in the relationships. It's also easy to think cause and effect. Even sometimes people will say, well, I know the part that I play, but the part that I play is because they did this. And so now if they didn't do this, I wouldn't do this. If this didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen. You're thinking cause and effect rather than really thinking, how do I show up? How do I function? How do I manage myself? Not, if this person, because I'm not gonna give somebody else control over me. So circumstances, situations, and locations are not going to determine who I am and how I live and how I govern myself. I am who I am. I am that I am that I am. That's what the word Yahweh means. I am who I am. And that's consistent. So I want to stress to you the importance of you taking full responsibility for the role you play in relationship dynamics. So let's pause for a moment, and I want you to give yourself 3 separate grades. All right, here's what you're going to grade yourself. Number one. How well are you able to understand what is going on in the system? Give yourself a grade. And you can even do it like a good teacher, 79. Don't just give yourself a C plus, give yourself a 79 if it's a 79. If it's a 95, give yourself a 95, whatever it is. How well are you able to understand what is going on in the system? How well are you able to see the part that you are playing? That's the second thing. Grade yourself on that. How well are you able to see the part that you're playing? And number 3, how well do you take responsibility for your functioning? I really want to encourage you to focus on improving the way you function in relationships. Simply put, take responsibility. Let's do this so that we can unbox our leadership by unboxing relationships. Take care.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.